G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat, this is my Knackers Yard. I've created a load of space today because I was going to sort out them forks. I was going to give them a good polish and various other things. First of all, I was going to do a brake overhaul just to make sure they're sound. I mean, they feel sound, but actually, and as you can see there, there's plenty of meat left on those pads. So it's just going to go for a strip and a clean. Whilst doing that, I just thought I'd chuck some polish on the bars. Chuck some polish on, and I seem to have kicked off the world's weirdest thing. Let me see if I can get you in a position where I can explain it. Right, so the weirdness that I have, and this is very strange. I don't know if it was just cocking around with the switchgear cable while I was cleaning the handlebar, but yeah, so if I connect the battery, so Live's in, it's a bodge cable because he hasn't got the proper ones, they're coming tomorrow. Yeah, if I connect the earth, I get an attempted start, which is weird because the keys just fell off. There are no keys in it. If I put the keys in it, turn it on, and then turn the key off, it turns off the engine. Now while the engine's on, so, sorry, key on, I'm going nowhere near the ignition button. I've got one hand on the camera, one hand on the earth cable. I'm not sure if you could hear that. While the key's on and that's on, the starter motor keeps spinning even when it's running. Now that is just bloody super strange to me, and I'm perplexed. It's taken me a little while to work out that it was the starter motor that was still going. It's just weird. Now, if I've snagged a cable or something while I was moving this around, I could take the switchgear apart and have a look. Don't know. Is it in the ignition? Do I have to take all this off again? If I snagged a cable, pulled a cable, don't know. I think first things first. Let's get this tank off again, and have a look and get into the electrics a little bit. This is just fucking strange. This is really weird. Right, let's get on with it. Right, curiouser and curiouser, said the spider to the fly. So I've now justified the expense of my motorcycle jump leads, which I've finally got round to buying, rather than using big clampy ones all the time. I've literally gone positive, positive, negative, negative, and I didn't get a start straight off. So, no key. Sorry, key in my mouth. No key, no starty. Engine on. Yeah. No key, no starty. Key in. No key, no, or key not on, no starty. I get all the right clicks. Engine on. There's something screwy going on here. Also, sometimes it doesn't respond on first push. See? There you go, push it. Give it a second. Wait for a click. think there's definitely something up there. This is weird. Let me try the battery back on. Maybe I just caught something. I did have my bodge cables holding it together from when I first started to start it, which probably wasn't a bright idea. See if I can wire it in properly. Right, that's that little mystery over. I've wired it properly without any bodges, so it's all on sweet. So now, if I don't have a key, it's not doing anything. If I have a key in and turn it on with the engine kill switch on, it doesn't play. Turn the engine kill switch back on. I mean, that was strange. I can only assume that there was some sort of bad earth kicking around there. Some cross wires of some variety. Strange, very strange. Right, let's get this cover on and try and get on with what I was trying to do today rather than fuck around with more electronics. Right, there we go. Now, regrettably, I've been forced back into the back of my garage a bit more. I wanted to hang roo out the front of the garage so I could get to the forks, but with a shafty, there's no way of putting a normal rear stand on it because there's just nothing for it to sit on really. Yeah, and I don't really want to jack up the front. It was the back. It was the front that I need jacked up. So I've gone for a bit of bike bondage. Not quite the sort of bondage that Charlie, the motorcycle rescuer, likes. But yeah, I'm not a fan of butt plugs. Each their own. Just a note. This is gentle joshing between me and Charlie. None of this is serious. It's just fucking around. Right. So I've got my normal jack underneath, my fill straps hanging roof from the rafters. I wonder if it's the first time that RuPaul's been hung from rafters in a shed. Probably not. In mine, yes. Just enough to get the front wheel off, so I can't quite show you there, but there's, you know, about 5 mil underneath. So yeah, I've got a nice bit of clearance there. So how do you get the wheel off this? I don't know yet, but there's a big nut there. So it doesn't look like there's any lock. I'm catching my stand here. Come on, you swine. Down, 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 down. Shrinky. So there's no lock on the other side, it just looks like a straight roll through, which is cool. So the intention is whip the wheel off, whip the mudguard off and see what we are left with. Let me drag you back in a minute. Right, that took a bit of going. I've ended up using my torque wrench because it's the longest wrench I've got. I need a braking wrench, a braking bar or something. Add it to the shopping list. I've only got short handles and they're fine for normal stuff, but gash for anything bigger. I've got sweat on. Are we there? I think we're there. Right. I need my little knee pad thingy. Let's take the speedo cable off. I can just see it getting in the way. There we go. Right, so I've got the speedo on the left. This tends to be easier if you don't have a big drop, so you're not trying to support the weight of a wheel, which is not light. So, main pin, which way is best? Looks like this one wants to come forward. Well, obviously it's not going to go backwards, but you know what I'm saying, forward. That's got locking splines in it and that, remember that. It's not going to fall out. Got a spacer. It's going to be fairly obvious which way that went on. Now I like trying to keep things. Oh fuck! I like to dent my paint, any paint. Right. Right, so there we go. And we're off, and we've got just enough height to get it out from under the mudguard, which is nice. Happy. I don't really want to lean that up against another bike, so I'll chuck it outside. I might try and give it a bit of a clean today as well. Right. So I try and keep my bits together, not because it's any sort of garaging top tip or I'm an idiot and I put things down and forget where I put them. Right, let's get this mudguard off. Just pinch those in a little bit. Feed the bugger out. Right. I need a bit of touch up that. Put that somewhere relatively safe. Right. So what are we looking at then? They're not actually that bad. But doesn't mean to say they can't be better. Now the tops of the fork seals are starting to show their age. If I was going to replace them, no, I'm going to do them on the bike. I'm just contemplating. I wonder if I've got any replacements. No, not a great deal of point of replacing the top unless you're replacing the seal, but I don't think they need the seals replaced because they're not leaking. I don't really want to go dropping the oil to check it, because if it ain't broke, yada yada yada, and there is no oil drain on these, it would be taking them apart, which frankly I'm not prepared to do. I freaking hate fork seals. Right, I'm going to get a bucket of water, give them a quick douche, and then break out the polisher. Right, that's you set up on the angle there. These are looking pretty crappy, but I do have a little stock, so I do have some diversion ones which I think are the same size forks, so I'll give that a think. I also had to think about just whipping these off and chucking them on the bench grinder or bench polisher, because it's only bolt slide. All of the weight in it, I'll get turned off from doing it because supporting the bike without the headstock is a pain in the arse. But this, it's all just done on the bars. So I might have a look at that. I'm going to see how I get on with this method first. So paint on the mothers. Really can't have too much. Now I've shown bits of this before, and it's just to, it's not a health and safety thing. I'm not responsible for your safety, you are. But things to be aware of. One, it's an angle grinder, goes fast. So what? One of the key bits about this is heat. It burns, and which is precisely why you can't use it on plastics, because it will just melt through, and it will just take the chrome off the plastic. It's just going to burn it away. That's one point. The other point, if I don't fall over, it's an angle grinder. It's loud. Now, I'm not a health and safety aficionado, and what I do in my own garage, I do at my own risk. If I was doing this hanging out the front of the garage, I probably wouldn't bother, frankly. But now I'm in the back of the garage. It's noisy, and it's going to bounce around these brick walls. So I'm going to chuck my ear defenders on, and also I have covered up Beast because this generates a load of shit. It's coming up. I mean, it's getting it, but it's taking a lot. I think what I'm going to do, I can try it with one fork, can't I? I'm going to have a go with the mothers and this, the bits that I know I'm not going to be able to get to with my bench polisher, in the nooks and crannies. Frankly, the bits you don't really see, to be brutally honest. The other side's going to be a bit more complex because it's got all the brake hangers. But just pick that up with my right hand, you spastic, and put a glove on especially. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a go on the bench, but let's see. Right, a little bit of before and after action there. So obviously that's the high side one. Now we've got the low side. It's not perfect, but it is a lot better than it was. A lot better. Yeah, I'm happy. You keep seeing little defects and think, oh, I'll keep going at that, keep going at that. You forget that's what you started with. New dust seal as well. I had a diversion one kicking around, and it fits perfectly. So that is better. Yes, I should do the dust seals, fork seals, but I'm not going to because I hate doing it. And they are fine. They are absolutely fine. They're nice and clean. They don't leak at all. It was just, you can't quite see on that. It's just, you can tell it's done its job. It's kept the rain out because it's swelling above the seal. The moisture out. It hasn't been sat in rain. It's been sat in a dry shed. Right, to bang this back in, I'm just considering whether or not I whip these fuckers off. How soft is that rubber? Will I be able to peel that straight round? I think I might be able to. No, I'm not going to. Right, so I'm going to give this the fork, and put that down out of the way. Just while it's off, have a quick clean and a bit polish around the top, just with Autosol. I'm not going to go spastic. Just give everything a bit of a clean out. There's a bit rust trap inside there that just needs a bit of a douche while I'm here. Cool. Right, and there you go. There's the matching pair, looking pretty damn good. Now, unfortunately, the weather's terrible, so you're not really going to see a very good show of it. But I've given the wheel a little bit of a go over as well. Only a really superficial one, just because it looked even worse next to a shiny, next to the shiny fork. That's all good. Gave the brake a dose out while I had the fork off, as I said. That's fine. Plenty of meat left on the pads. Yeah, it's been an interesting day. Well, it hasn't been an interesting day. Mental note: if you're going to do any polishing, particularly if you're going to try and do something like your forks, make sure you've got time. It's not a quick process. It does fundamentally take a long time. Not a great deal of effort and not a great deal of talent, but it does take time. But I think they just look so much better now. I mean, that looks pretty amazing, I think, actually. Now I'm drinking in a little bit more, I think that looks bloody brilliant. Right, what next? I might try and MOT this. Now, I'm taking Tuesday off work, purely and simply because it's my birthday. Happy birthday, me. I haven't put the speedo cable back on your book. Yeah, I'm taking Tuesday off because it's my birthday, because I can more than anything else. I hate working on my birthday. Unfortunately, I can take my birthday off this year, which is nice. Don't always do it, but this time I can, so I will. Oh, come on, you fucker. Yeah, so what I might do is take this for an MOT. Now, not that taking a bike for an MOT is work or whatever, but it means that I get a decent ride on it as much as anything else. All above board and proper, not just a quick mince around the block to test out if there's anything else that I need to do, which when I do it, I do very safely with a degree of thumbs up from the local copper, who is entirely happy, as long as, to quote him, I'm not doing any wheelies. So it means I get to take this on a proper ride and a proper leg stretch. I have adjusted the height of the gear pedal, and it's a lot more comfortable now. I don't feel like I have to raise my leg and kick the bike, raise my leg each time that I'm changing gear, so it's a lot more comfortable. So I think I'm going to go for that, and we'll see what happens from there. Right, that'll do me for another one. It's been a fucking long day. I am minging. It does make a proper mess, makes a proper mess polishing. So I think I'm going to go and douche myself rather than douching bikes for once. Right, that'll do me. I'll catch you on the next one, which might well be an MOT run on this bad boy. Cheers all. I'll catch you later on. Ta-da.